Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. I'm Catherine Skopik. I'm going to be your MC today. I am an activist, artist, educator, and one of 3 organizers of this event. I'm going to ask you to look at 3 things. 1, I'm going to ask you to look at the building across the street. If you can see that inscription, we are going to read it together. Ready? The true administration of justice is the firmest pillar of good government. Yay! And we need more justice. We need justice for our indigenous, our low income, our immigrants, and the list can go on and on and on. And speaking of indigenous, I would like to mention to you that Chief Dwayne Perry of the Ramapo Lenape Nation was supposed to be here today, but their land is in danger. He has to be there praying. And he asks that everybody could contact the mayor of Mahwah and tell the mayor that the Lenape Nation needs the right to religious freedom, and they need the freedom and right to assemble on their land because they have been barred from doing both. So please, everybody, get in touch with them. I will give you the email. It's lenape1@gmail. Lenape has an unusual spelling. It's LUNAAPE1@gmail. So please contact them and send him your prayers, best wishes. Go and visit. It's in New Jersey, not too far away. The second thing I'm going to ask you to look at is renewable energy. And I made this painting for us. I don't know if you can all see it, but it has a big sun. And scientists tell us that there is enough energy in the sun that every person on this planet could have enough energy for all their needs. And I also, of course, have included solar panels and wind turbines. We need renewable energy. What do we want? When do we want it? Mr. Trump, if you are listening, make America great again by leading the United States into the #1 position, leading us in the fight against climate change. $1 billion is a pittance of our national budget. And that's all it takes. People want us to stay in the Paris Climate Agreement. Americans, by more than 5-1, say, keep this commitment. Mr. Trump, keep our promise. It wasn't a perfect agreement. Not everybody's happy with it. But the fact that so many nations sign on to it is almost a miracle in and of itself. We can't let this fall apart. We all know that we are in crunch time. We're in crisis mode. So we have to hold up our end of the deal. And our $1 billion a year goes to help the global South, who have done the least to cause global warming and are suffering the most. I'm going to ask us to look at the achievements we have accomplished by working together. We banned fracking in New York State. We stopped the Port Ambrose project. And 2 years ago, September 21st, 2014, we had over 400,000 people in the streets for climate change. And now I would like to ask the other 2 organizers of this event to come forward. First of all, Lisa DiCaprio, who is Conservation Chair of Sierra Club, New York City Group.
The Sierra Club, which was founded in 1892, is the oldest and largest grassroots environmental organization in the United States. Several decades ago, Rachel Carson warned us about the potentially catastrophic consequences of our attempt to control nature. As she wrote in her book, A Sense of Wonder, one way to open your eyes is to ask yourself, what if I had never seen this before? What if I knew I would never see it again? On the first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970, more than 20 million people participated in activities throughout the United States, which facilitated the 1970 Clean Air Act, the 1972 Clean Water Act, and the formation of the EPA in 1970. Earth Day is now commemorated annually by 1 billion people in the world. Today, we are part of a new mass movement to oppose the Trump administration's initiatives to deny climate change, eliminate environmental regulations, and diminish the EPA. The Sierra Club's campaigns involve conservation of land and natural resources, a just transition from fossil fuels and nuclear power to renewable energy, and more recently, a democracy initiative to encourage voter participation and civic engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for that little bit of history. Sierra Club is one of the main organizers of this event. Next, we're going to hear from our other main organizer, and that is Ling Tzu, who is co-founder of United for Action. Let's give a hand to Ling.
Thank you, Catherine. Catherine asked me to say something about United for Action. United for Action is a group of volunteers who shape public policy decisions by organizing and mobilizing like-minded people. We were one of the earliest grassroots groups in New York City, organizing to ban fracking in New York State. We oppose continued reliance on fossil fuels to power our lives. We advocate instead for the implementation of renewable energy as well as conservation and energy efficiency. We work to raise public awareness of the unacceptable risks posed by nuclear energy and by extreme fossil fuel extraction, such as fracking for natural gas and oil, and by the expansion of fossil fuel infrastructure. These practices are harmful to our water, air, food supply, and environment, and they endanger our health and our very existence while causing climate chaos. We seek to empower people to organize, unite, and take actions to effect changes toward a safer, healthier, and sustainable future. One of my friends in the audience asked me to let you guys know that in New York Times today, there's an article that says, for the first time since 1800s, Britain goes a whole day without burning coal for electricity. And I want to thank our speakers, and I want to thank every one of you for coming today. Thank you very much.
And although the federal government has become a stumbling block for us, there is still much that we can do on the city level and the state level. We are very fortunate here in New York City to have a very progressive New York City Council. And one of these people who has worked very closely with us and is the chair of the Environment Committee is none other than Costa Constantinides.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day, everybody. So does anybody think it's a little weird that our sea rises continue, our seas continue to rise? That every year it's gotten hotter than the last. And yet we have a president in DC who says climate change is not real. Do we agree with him? Do we think this is okay? Are we ready to stand up and fight? That's what we're doing here in New York City. That's what we're doing here in New York State. We're resisting. We're making sure DC knows that climate change is real, that the time is now to take action on climate change. It cannot wait. Now, what we're doing here, I want to thank Catherine and Lisa and Ling, who do so much for our environment and fight for us every day. Every city council hearing, I see them there testifying, pushing us further. And that's what we need to do. We need activists like yourself coming to our meetings, pushing, holding us accountable to make sure that we're green. We passed one of the strong, as DC drops the ball on our environment, we passed one of the strongest environmental justice laws in the country last week. When DC cuts us 30%, we plan on retrofitting New York City's buildings. We need to do more renewable energy. We've done geothermal. We've looked to expand solar by 2025. We're looking to do more wind power, hydropower. And on Monday, we're having a hearing in the city council to make sure power plants stop burning number 4 and number 6 oil in our backyards. Because even though we've phased it out in the city, they are burning tens of millions of gallons of 4 and 6 oil in our backyards. It shouldn't be happening. We see the asthma rates. Even if you set aside climate change, which we should not, but looking at the asthma rates next to these power plants, they're going through the roof. Our kids are going to nebulizers and having to run to the hospital, more ER visits, more hospitalizations. Or a generation of kids growing up having to rely on a pump. And it's not just the health, it's the missing of school 10 to 30 days a year. And it's the money coming out of the family's pockets, economic justice. So I need your help to fight against these power plants. We need your help to fight against an administration who denies climate change. And we need to fight until 2020 when we get a new representation to make sure the EPA is refunded for a better world, a renewable world. So thank you. Stand for Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Thank you to my colleagues for being here.
I am absolutely thrilled to introduce our next speaker, who is a well-known activist, artist, filmmaker, musician known to all of us. Please give it up for Josh Fox.
Happy Earth Day. It's raining. It's Foley Square, where no one ever comes except to do a rally like this. Right? Who are you? Who are we? Who are the people at this rally? Yeah, that's right. You said we're the loyalists. We started rallying against fracking in New York State 2008. We also have to remember how we won the ban on fracking in New York State. How did we do that? We did it by doing more than rallies, right? We were obsessed with talking about fracking to every single person that we ever met on the subway. Have you heard about fracking? Do you know about fracking? Do you have a minute to talk to me about fracking? We hounded our good friend Andy. We went after Governor Cuomo every minute that we could. The guy couldn't have a birthday party without 500 fractivists showing up outside the Plaza Hotel. How many of you were there? Yeah, that's right. So what do we need to do now? What do we know about renewable energy for New York State and New York City? It is about one thing and one thing only. It is about offshore wind. We need offshore wind in this state. That, according to the Solutions Project, of which I'm a founder, right, will be 40% of our energy in New York State. 40%. Offshore wind can also provide a seawall, a wind wall, to cut down the storm surge for the next Hurricane Sandy. You know, we had people in this city who drowned in their own homes. The water came in so fast. We were so unprepared. We were told so little information about climate change and about the things that will protect this city from going underwater that people drowned in their own homes. Every single person should have known where that floodplain was. Because where I'm speaking right now will be underwater unless we go to renewable energy. We all know this. So what I'm asking you, the loyalists, as you said, the diehards, the extremists, the fanatics, or what I call people with common sense, I need you to think about strategy right now. Because if Governor Cuomo has a birthday party without being told about offshore wind, we failed. If we do not go and camp out in their offices, I'm talking about Andrew Cuomo and Chuck Schumer and Gillibrand and Mayor de Blasio, instead of just showing up for the times where we're all like a social circle hanging out in Foley Square, we have to start to organize those events too. It's the time for direct action now. Because Donald Trump doesn't own New York City. He is not in charge in New York City. He's retired and gone to Florida. He doesn't live here anymore. Just his sort of wife. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. This is our domain. This is where we live. This is where we work. This is what we have to defend. And I'll tell you something I learned at Standing Rock. By the way, if you don't know this, my new film on Standing Rock comes out today. It's called Awake, A Dream from Standing Rock. What I learned at Standing Rock is you don't win without the front line. The front line who is standing in the freezing water saying to the police, we're praying for your kids. We want them to have clean water too, and then they all get pepper sprayed, and then they all get arrested. We don't win without the front line. We don't make an impact without the front line. If you're here right now, in the rain, you are the front line. We need you out there, camped out in those offices and refuse to go home. We need you to insist. We need you to make that strategy and make that point. I will be there with you. If you call me up and say, Josh, we're camping out at Governor Cuomo's office, I will get there. I need you to talk about it in those terms, because now is the time where we have to question our strategy, and we have to do more, and we have to do better. I love you guys. Happy Earth Day.
And although the federal government has become a stumbling block for us, there is still much that we can do on the city level and the state level. We are very fortunate here in New York City to have a very progressive New York City Council. And one of these people who has worked very closely with us and is the chair of the Environment Committee is none other than Costa Constantinides.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day, everybody. So does anybody think it's a little weird that our sea rises continue, our seas continue to rise? That every year it's gotten hotter than the last. And yet we have a president in D.C. who says climate change is not real. Do we agree with him? Do we think this is okay? Are we ready to stand up and fight? That's what we're doing here in New York City. That's what we're doing here in New York State. We're resisting. We're making sure D.C. knows that climate change is real, that the time is now to take action on climate change. It cannot wait. Now, what we're doing here, I want to thank Catherine and Lisa and Ling, who do so much for our environment and fight for us every day. Every city council hearing, I see them there testifying, pushing us further. And that's what we need to do. We need activists like yourself coming to our meetings, pushing, holding us accountable to make sure that we're green. We passed one of the strong, as DC drops the ball on our environment, we passed one of the strongest environmental justice laws in the country last week. When DC cuts us 30%, we plan on retrofitting New York City's buildings. We need to do more renewable energy. We've done geothermal. We've looked to expand solar by 2025. We're looking to do more wind power, hydropower. And on Monday, we're having a hearing in the city council to make sure power plants stop burning number 4 and number 6 oil in our backyards. Because even though we've phased it out in the city, they are burning tens of millions of gallons of 4 and 6 oil in our backyards. It shouldn't be happening. We see the asthma rates. Even if you set aside climate change, which we should not, but looking at the asthma rates next to these power plants, they're going through the roof. Our kids are going to nebulizers and having to run to the hospital, more ER visits, more hospitalizations. A generation of kids growing up having to rely on a pump. And it's not just the health, it's the missing of school 10 to 30 days a year. And it's the money coming out of the family's pockets, economic justice. So I need your help to fight against these power plants. We need your help to fight against an administration who denies climate change. And we need to fight until 2020 when we get a new representation to make sure the EPA is refunded for a better world, a renewable world. So thank you. Stand for Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Thank you to my colleagues for being here.
Let's give a wonderful hand for our New York State Senator, Les Kroger.
So you all need to help me. Today and everyone hearing. But in every day. To make sure. We resist. We say science has to take the lead. We hold our elected officials accountable. Washington, Albany, New York City. I work on a lot of environmental issues just like you. I need your help to get the divestment bill passed. We should not be using government pension money in the 100 largest fossil fuel companies in the world. We need an Earth to be there for us when we retire. That's more important than a percentage on stocks in our pension plan. So glad Josh Fox was here reminding us about how we won against fracking. It's how we will continue to win. Even in a world with Donald Trump working against us. Not the whole world is here today. But we know on Earth Day that we are working to protect our planet for everyone. Thank you for standing in the rain and standing up and speaking truth to power.
Thank you for standing in the rain and standing up and speaking truth to power.
I will keep being a voice for what you care about and I care about.
I will keep being a voice for what you care about and I care about.
In our state capital. Thank you all for your great work.
Thank you all for your great work. Friend in the New York State Senate. And now we're going to hear from the New York State Assembly. Please give a welcome to the person who is on the Subcommittee on Renewable Energy, here to speak with us today. Give a nice hand to Assembly Member Linda Rosenthal.
I represent Upper West Side and parts of Hell's Kitchen in the New York State Assembly. And I'd like to thank Catherine and Lisa and Zane for all your hard work organizing today. And all of the organizations who are here representing. You know, it's raining and we hope it's not acid rain. But as president, you never know what you're going to get. Is that right? I'm so proud of America, at least the part that I agree with. Because we're out here, we're demonstrating. It doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if it's snowing. People are out there because people are outraged. People are out there because people are outraged. Now, one day back in December before... The president-elect met with Al Gore. And you know what happened the next day? He picked Scott Pruitt to be head of EPA. But now all sense of pretense is gone. Golfing every weekend. And empowering lobbyists who think climate change is a joke. Now we know that Scott Pruitt denies that there is climate change. And he, along with 20-something other states, sued Obama to overturn his climate change policies. But now he's in charge. So we have to watch out for a cascade. Anti-environment and anti-people changes to environmental laws. Okay, so there's a 31% budget cut for EPA in the office, losing thousands of employees, and billions of dollars. Now, I used to think the EPA was bad when under George Bush, when they said that the air around 9/11 was safe to breathe. But now, the EPA is something that will be eviscerated. And we cry for its demise. But remember, a Republican created the EPA. And way back when, all of us could agree about the need to protect our environment. So we will get back there, but how do we get back there? We protest. All over the country. We say that the fate of the bees is connected to the fate of the earth. We say that lead in our water is something we all have to be concerned about. We say that fracking is something we all have to take to the streets to oppose. And that less regulation will harm our kids. So, we must stick together, which I know we will do. We must put the pressure on our local, our state, our federal governments, and know that we, the people, are the ones who will protect the earth. So I pledge to remain steadfast along with all of you and the thousands upon thousands across this country.
I pledge to remain steadfast with all of you, thousands and thousands across this country.
We will be at rally after rally, march after march. Together we will fight the drums. And we will win because we must win. And thank you. It's great to see all of you. You don't have to repeat this. I will join you to listen to the rest of the speakers, but we are moving. We are moving. Climate
However, why should we do mic check? Okay. Our next performers are Bethany and Rufus. However, without a sound system, they cannot perform for us today. Bethany has a concert later on today and does not want to stress her voice.
We understand.
Let's give a hand to Bethany Yarrow, and she said we could do a sing-along.
This is a song that we all know. It's a song that our elders, our ancestors, the giants on whose shoulders we stand, the giants who before us also stood up to the police. They also stood up to water cannons. They also stood up to attack dogs. And they stood up for what is right. Not necessarily what was the law. But what was the higher righteousness. The higher moral calling. To create a better world. For the generations to come. And as we sing this song, I'm right now thinking about the indigenous people of New York City. I'm thinking about the Ramapo Lenape Nation, who are right now at their prayer camp, called the Split Rock Sweetwater Prayer Camp. It's on the New York-New Jersey border. And right through their sacred territory. Through their most sacred mountain. The Pilgrim Pipeline is proposed. They want to build this pipeline. It's the same oil that goes through the Dakota Access Pipeline. It's the Bakken crude oil. At the same time that the protesters were standing up in Standing Rock to protect the Missouri River. The Spectra Corporation, which is owned by the same companies that own the Dakota Access Pipeline. We're drilling under the Hudson River. 30 miles from New York City. And 100 feet from the Indian Point nuclear power plant to put in a huge fracked gas pipeline that is now operational. Oil pipelines spill. Gas pipelines explode. So we now, our children, are at risk of a fracked gas explosion next to Indian Point. This is our reality. And we did not have tens of thousands of people camped on the Hudson River to protect our water. We are Standing Rock. Standing Rock is everywhere. Please let people know and understand. We have several pipelines proposed through New York. We have many compressor stations throughout the state of New York. There are plans to turn the Hudson River into a fracked gas and oil transportation hub for the whole Northeast.
There are plans to turn the Hudson River into a fracked transportation hub throughout the entire Northeast. For the whole Northeast.
Okay. So, when you sing now, send your prayers to the Ramapo Lenape and to their prayer camp. Because we will be in force, thousands of people rallying to stop these projects. I'm going to save my voice and sing. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Ain't gonna let nobody. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. The pipelines in the land, well, the pipelines in the land will soon be over, soon be over, soon be over. Yes, the pipelines in the land will soon be over if we keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Ain't gonna let nobody, ain't gonna let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Well, the drilling in the land will soon be over, soon be over, soon be over. Yes, the drilling in the land will soon be over if we keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Well, the fracking in the land will soon be over, soon be over, soon be over. Yes, the fracking in the land will soon be over if we keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching for freedom. Last time ain't gonna let nobody, ain't
speaker is our Manhattan Borough President, Gail Brewer.
I'm Gail Brewer, Manhattan Borough President. President Trump, number 45, denies climate change, and that ain't right. This last year was the hottest year since 1880. So locally, we're gonna compost, recycle, and change the oil so we're using fossil fuel not at all. New York City will be the capital of a good energy policy. The hell with number 45. This bag is in every grocery store in Manhattan free of charge. Use it! Happy Earth! Happy Earth Day! Thank you all for being here!
We have here today two honored guests that I met at Standing Rock and that you'll meet here now. They're here for the premiere of our film at Tribeca tonight, and they're here to address you. These are two people that I met on the front lines, putting their bodies in the way of the Dakota Access Pipeline. They are great friends, and they are brave warriors. Please meet Mikasi Camp Horonek, Mikasi, and Clarice White Bull. Thank you.
Hello everybody, good morning. I want to say that it's an honor to be here to speak before you. We don't need to do that. I think I can speak loud enough where everybody can listen. So thank you all for your attention though. It's good to be here and have this blessing rain coming down. The rain's always a blessing, nourishing Mother Earth. This is my first time in New York City. Like I said, it's an honor to be here, to be with like-minded people protecting Mother Earth. We came here for several reasons. One, to be here with Josh to help promote the film Awake that is premiering tonight. We're very thankful to Josh Fox for bringing us here, for his friendship and the work that he does. I'm from Oklahoma, and if any of you know about Oklahoma, we're the pipeline crossroads of the world, also the earthquake capital of the world. Inject heavy water, right? The wastewater injection, the fracking that's going on in my homeland is not only killing Mother Earth, but killing my people. I live in Ponca City, Oklahoma, on a reservation, White Eagle, Ponca Reservation, and my people are dying at a rate of 1 per week, an average of 56 deaths per year. Wow. We live next door to the ConocoPhillips refinery. There's a coal-fired power plant to the south and the refinery to the north. We keep desecrating Mother Earth. It's going to happen to everybody what's happening to my people at home. The environment is going to take us out. So each one of you that's made a commitment to individually make a collective change, that's what it takes to change the world. Every time that the world has changed, it's been a youth-led movement. What took place at Standing Rock was led by the youth. And it started with our youth. So I encourage each and every one of you to teach your children, teach your grandchildren. Those are our future leaders. When you come to things like this, bring your children.
Yes.
Involve them. They are the ones that's going to wake the community, that's going to shake the community and tell them that there has to be change and that we must make a change in our lives. What we're experiencing today, not only environment, but the civil rights movement, human rights movement, things that are going on in our government with the current administration is forcing change. That as much as I don't like Donald Trump, he is the catalyst for change. That people are standing up and saying we're not going to accept this. We're not going to accept these laws or these rules that you're trying to impose on us or our environment. And it takes us as individuals to step up and create that change for our own homes, inside our own homes, and inside our communities and across the world. So I just want to say thank you, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you. I'm going to introduce my companion, Florice Whitebull from Standing Rock.
My name's Florice Whitebull. I'm from Standing Rock Nation. I live in Oklahoma right now. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for showing up. And although we hide from the rain right now, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing to be touched by Tagashula right now through these rains and nourishing our earth and the blessings that come from this rain. And it's good. It's good to see you all. I know it feels really bleak to be under this administration and to feel like your voices aren't being heard, but you showed up today, and that's worth it. No matter how hard it is to be oppressed, you fight anyways, because it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about our children, and it's about our future. It's about making that change happen, no matter how hard it is to be under that oppression. Because our future, our children deserve better than the life that they're being stuck with. If we can take the burden off of them by showing up, by being arrested, then we'll do that, because they're worth it. Their futures are in jeopardy because of our conveniences, our addiction to conveniences that we don't really need. And taking away these conveniences actually betters our lives, because if we can shut off that TV, if we can walk with each other, our lives are better because we have each other. I want to say thank you again for your continued support of our future, and thank you for letting me speak to you.
We're going to have Ben Carlos and Jamani Williams say a brief word. Thank you. Let's give them a hand. City Council members.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jamani Williams, councilmember from Brooklyn.
Councilmember Ben Kalos, East Side.
Before I start, I want to take a selfie, so if you can hold the sounds up. How y'all doing? We got the beautiful from rain coming down. Water is life, as my Native American friend said, Minnie Winchada. But we have an orange man in the White House who does not believe in facts. Just today, he told us that New York City was swimming in crime and gang violence. They completely make shit up as they go along. So we shouldn't be surprised about what they're doing with climate change. I am so proud to be here with the people who history is going to remember as the resistors who kept us on the right track. So I don't want you to wallow in despair. I want you to look in your neighbor and say, we will win this. We will win this. Our numbers will only grow. Our numbers will only grow. We will save Mother Earth. 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 History will frown on the orange man. History will frown on the orange man. And facts will make a comeback. And facts will make a comeback. And Rosenthal. Before I leave, I heard someone sing a song, but I heard a different version on a march, and I want to sing it here. All right. Ain't gonna let no orange man turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no orange man turn me around, keep on me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no orange man turn me around. Keep on a walking, keep on a walking, walking into freedom land.
I have the proud privilege of being Vice Chair of the Progressive Caucus with Councilmember Rosenthal, and we stand with you today. So if you can, and we actually just came from the Science March in Helen Rosenthal's district because we believe in science. So if you can join me in repeating, I believe in climate change.
I believe in climate change.
I believe that humans can save the planet.
I believe that humans can save the planet.
We can reduce, reuse, recycle, and get to zero waste.
We can reduce, reuse, recycle, and get to zero waste.
We can build local renewable energy.
We can build local renewable energy.
We can reduce the carbon footprint of the buildings around us.
We can reduce the carbon footprint of the buildings around us.
This is not our planet.
This is not our planet.
We borrow it from our children.
We borrow it from our children.
And we will leave this planet better than we found it.
And we will leave this planet better than we found it.
Wow, what a jazzed up crowd. So I'm thrilled to be here with you, and I want to thank the organizers. If you're an organizer, raise your hand and go like this. Thank them. You know, it's hard to think of an Earth Day where our collective future feels more at risk. We spend this day to renew our resolve to stand up for future generations and resist the Trump administration's effort to push us backwards. Is climate change a hoax? No! You know, oddly, there are some people who have alternative facts, and they're not aware that in New York State, since 1900, our sea level has risen a foot. And within 80 years, scientists expect it to rise another foot to 50 inches. That's a true fact. My daughter went to Morocco and Bolivia to witness climate change firsthand. 36 million people in Africa face a food shortage that is at the crisis level. Oh, and in Bolivia, they're already experiencing extreme weather conditions, loss of food, loss of water,
and an increase in mosquito-borne diseases. That's a fact. So the solutions to climate change are staring us in the face. You know, all Trump has to do is agree to continue with the Paris Agreement. All Trump has to do is to continue to invest in renewable energy sources. And here in New York State and in New York City, all we have to do is to commit to the fiscally responsible thing and divest from fossil fuel companies. We need evidence-based policies in order to protect the common good. And that's not a political question or an alternative fact. It is a true fact. So keep up the good work, keep marching, keep fighting, keep your voices loud and strong. Thank you so much for coming out today. Thank you. I'm Councilmember Rosenthal from the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Good to see you guys.
4 years, the Department of Defense of the United States dumped 63 billion pounds of poison in American waterways. We will continue to mobilize citizens to stand up and stop war on the world, no matter what political party is in power, to expose governmental crimes and put humanity and the planet first.
Happy Earth Day to everyone, and thank you for still being here with us. I'm Pamela Pettyjohn from Coney Island Beautification Project. We work to beautify Coney Island and will continue to work toward climate mitigation and prevention. Thank you.
Thank you.